Welcome to the Alchemist Nation podcast. We are a community of business and real estate professionals who are on a shared mission to help every individual achieve financial freedom through right action, the right knowledge, and the right accountability. Join me, Andrew McMurray, and my co-host Mitch Jaworski as we find and interview those who have mastered wealth and who have a desire to share their wisdom with you. Enjoy.
Welcome, everyone, to another episode of the Alchemist Nation podcast. I am your host, Mitch Jaworski, with my co-host, Andrew McMurray, and we have another awesome guest for you today. Andrew, tell me, how are you doing? And let me know who we're talking to today.
Oh, Mitch, thank you. Thank you so much for that introduction. I am doing outstanding. Tony Robbins told me to always say that. If I want to stand out, always be outstanding. So we're outstanding today. And I'm excited. I'm excited to welcome our guest today, Stephen Beaver. I'll just give a little bit of a background based on what I know about you, Stephen. Let's see if I'm right. So you started out in martial arts. Well, I guess you actually started out being born, but you came out the womb kicking. Then you become a national martial arts champion, right? And then at some point you own your own martial arts academy for a while. And then you took your skills that you've learned through business, through martial arts, and then now you're working as a business coach. You transitioned to applying your skills to help others double their income in 6 months, which is really interesting, and I have some questions about that. But most importantly, take more vacations. You're all about TMV, baby. So actually, I've heard you put it, you help people solve the problem of not taking enough vacations by putting them out of work. So then I met you at last year, actually, at the 100 Millionaire Summit 2022 in person. I think we met on Recession Proof Challenge before that. But now it's 1 year later, and you're the CEO of Alchemist Nation, and you're a speaker at the 100 Millionaire Summit this year. So that's fascinating to me. So welcome. Good to have you.
Well, thank you. Thank you very much. Yeah, you downgraded me, but that's okay. I still can take that. I'm actually a 2-time national champion. And that's in gold. I've got 2 silvers and a bronze. We won't get into why it's a bronze. It was a gold, but politics. But we won't get into that. But so it's still 2, not too shabby.
Damn technicality.
It was short fist versus long fist, and they did not like long fist. Everybody was like, they rose his hand? The guy never hit me. How could he win? Another story. Anyway, getting off the subject, there's the monkey brain going. Just a little backstory, actually, if we're going to go down this road. I'll go a step further. Let's go down the real road. I'm nothing more than really a country boy that lives in the city. I know it looks like, I'm all this city slicker stuff, but my grandma lived 2 ranches away from the #1 horse trainer in Oklahoma. And I can literally remember falling off a horse when I was 2 years old. And I fell off the horse, and he goes, "You fall off a horse, you got to get back on." And he lifts me up to put me on the horse. Now, Andrew, I don't know if you know much about horses, but the average horse is about 14 to 18 hands tall. Clydesdale's maybe a little taller. But when I looked up that horse, I was like, I swear to you, this horse was like 2 stories tall. I mean, it's way up there. I'm like, I don't want to ride the horsey. I don't want to ride the horsey. And he's like, "You got to get back on that horse." And so I did. He put me on there. But years later, I had a friend that had a horse ranch, and back in the 80s and 90s, there was no Google. There was Yellow Pages, and if you networked, right? That's how you met people. And he was like, "Yeah, I'm going to have Arabians, and I'm going to do this, and I need somebody to train the horse." And I'm like, "I can do that." And he's like, "Oh, that's really great. You're good with kids, Stephen, but there's a difference between kids and horses." And I was like, "Dude, I've been riding since I was knee-high to a grasshopper. Just give me a chance." And so he did. And 2 weeks later, I had that horse completely broke. We were going over wooden bridges and tarp and in the trailer, just everything. So anyway, that's kind of my story of when I started realizing you need to be an expert at something. I didn't realize that at the time, but that's where that actually came from. I was actually an expert at that. And we had a horse ranch for a while, and it was a lot of fun. But yeah, at one point in time, I had, I always say 3 businesses at the same time. There's actually some other stuff on the side, but back in the 80s and 90s, there was a saying, and it was, Americans work harder than everybody else. And I fell into that trap. And I did. And, money wasn't an object. I mean, it was no problem. I mean, we never looked at the right side of the menu. And my kids learned that they order what they want, not what they needed. And but that was the good news. The bad news was I saw my kids in the morning when they went to school. Well, that's not quality time. I saw them when on Saturday afternoons, and like you alluded to, I was a two-time national champion, so I was at tournaments all the time. So that didn't happen very much. So I saw my kids on Sunday afternoons, and that's about it. The worst story I have is I remember my first son's t-ball practice. And to this day, I still don't know if he hit the ball, if he threw somebody out, if I don't even know if they had a winning or losing season, because that was the only thing I saw, because I was doing it for the family. And we took 4 vacations in over 18 years. Hence the reason, take more vacations, TMV, it's personal. I don't want people to be the old me. Right? I want them to be the new me. Kids, they learn through mimicry. And all my kids are out there. They're hard workers. And Mitch will go off on that. And he's absolutely right, too. It's not hard working to get you. It's getting that residual income, generating income, right? And I didn't get it back then because I was just a hard worker. And they're all hard workers. And so I, about 5 or 6 years ago, I reevaluating my life. And I realized that I needed to make a bigger impact, and I was still doing martial arts. I had a martial arts school for 36 years. I owned it. I wasn't teaching all the time in it. I just owned it. But I was just really, you know what Jim Rohn says: if you chase 2 rabbits, you catch none. And so I had to make a decision. Martial arts. Am I going to impact there? I've done thousands and thousands of kids, but impact that, or am I going to do it this way with the business consulting? And I think because I'd been doing business consulting for over 30 years also. Different story, won't get into that, but that's a story somebody can ask me to tell some other time. But I decided I could make a bigger impact on business consulting. And I didn't, and I'd always worked with kids mainly. That was my main thing. And so I figured, okay, I'll mimicry, remember, is 95% of all learning. So the kids have to come to the event, or it won't make an impact. And they have to be in the decision-making process. So, but then what if you have a 5-year-old and you have a 15-year-old? Well, I'll make 2 events. Started getting complicated. And I'm like, shit. Well, what's the secret? How am I going to do this? And then, there's a saying, you're the master of your disaster. And I'm like, well, shit, my failure as a dad and being there for their kids is most likely the problem that I need to solve. And so I thought, all right, TMV, right? And so we didn't take vacations. I started going through all the problems that we had and the things that I didn't do. And that's how the TMV started. And we just evolved from that. Back then I was wearing suits. I had the $300 tie, the thousands of dollars suits, and the shoes to match. And I just, one day I went to my strategist and I said, I actually had practiced it for about 2 weeks, the sales presentation. It's because I wanted to make sure I got the sale. And 2 minutes into it, she's like, Steven, stop. What do you want to ask me? And I'm like, I'm going to lose the sale. But, you pay these strategists thousands of dollars, so you gotta do what they say. And so I was like, I'm tired of the suits. It's just not me anymore. I want to wear Hawaiian shirts and shorts. And she was like, yes, that fits your T and V. It's like, no, we got to get you a prop. And I'm like, what's a prop? And she goes, well, some people wear jewelry. I said, I've been married 28 years. I don't wear jewelry. It makes my fingers itch and turns colors. And he says, okay, well, how about a hat? And I'm like, no, a hat smashes my hair. I don't like the way it feels. And she goes, well, I know when you do your strategy sessions, you give people 3 wishes. So how about a magic wand? I said, I ain't carrying no damn magic wand around with me. And she goes, are those glasses real? And I had these little wireframe glasses. I don't have any here that I can see, I think. Oh, yeah, here they are. So I was, I had these on. And she says, are those glasses real? And I'm like, well, they're like $300 just for reading. And she goes, all right, glasses. And I was like, all right, well, I'm not gonna be Elton John, but I'll go out and find something. I do systems. That's all I do is write systems for success. And I said, I'll figure out the system for the glasses to see which one's the best. And so these were second place. A little bit of Elton John, too much Elton John.
Very much.
But blue was is the color. This is as close as I could get to the color that women like, and women are the majority of my clients. And but red. So women like generally circles, and you can see the circle there. Guys like squares, and there's edges there. And red means to stop and look. And that's how I came. And this all became up just slowly, surely. Even the shoes that I wear now, we found on vacation, right? So
and for those that only listening to the audio, Stephen has fully embraced the take more vacation vibe in his wardrobe, and that he basically looks like he is on vacation. He looks like he just landed in Hawaii. So he found his brand, and he's been rocking it. Yeah,
and so that's so everything just went through there, my courses and everything, and then once I did this, then I really embraced the TMV. Like we do minimum of 6 vacations a year, and one of those, the kids get an opportunity to come free of charge. If we're going out of the country, they just got to bring their passport. If it's in the country, then it's just their driver's license. They get cash. It's my credit card. It's just like the shoes. I mentioned the shoes, right? So we're out there, and I went by these shoes 3 times. The third time, I'm like, I got to buy them. So I'm buying, and my son's like, yeah, my shoes are getting kind of ratty. I'll probably need to get another pair of shoes in another month or 2. And I'm like, son, you realize you're on vacation, right? And he's like, yeah, I know. Another month or 2. And I'm like, you're on vacation. He goes, you'd pay for them? Are you on vacation? He said, yeah. My youngest daughter comes by and she goes, oh, you're buying new shoes. And Sam goes, no, Dad is. We're on vacation. She didn't even look at me. She just took off. Right, comes back with the shoes, and so it's like they figured it out. They're really quick. We ain't buying no Lamborghinis or anything like that. Okay, we got limits there, but they understand when they're on vacation. Just like if they were, one of those 4 vacations we took in the 18 years that they were growing up. And so anyway, that's how I got here. Now I met Gwalter about over a year ago at an event, and I talked with him for 5 minutes, and I told him at the end of that conversation, I said, we're going to do business together. I said, you're smarter than me. I said, you are saying and doing exactly the same thing that I've been saying and doing for the last 30 years, but you took action and I didn't, and you're there and I'm not. And so he's like, and here I am, right? And it's just, it's an amazing, I knew I was going to go ahead and get into mastery just because on the strength of Gwalter. But when he said that he was doing the event in a box, it was all over. He didn't have to. He could have just stopped. He could have charged triple. I didn't care what the price was, because for the last 4 years or so, that's all I've been doing is going to events, and that's how I built up my business before COVID. Everything, that was it. And so I knew the strength of doing that. It's old school. It's going back to old school. It's not the, hey, give me $50 and I'll give you 500 leads. Well, give me the yellow pages. I can get 500 leads for a lot less than that, right? So when he did that and we started to work on it, and Doreena's got 10 years of experience and has built these empires. So it's the perfect storm. I have all the business sense, and he's got all this other sense, and and like you said, my goal, I put people out of work. So they can take more vacations, or as you said, a lot of times I'll go, what do you do? And I go, well, I solve the problem of you not taking a vacation by putting you out of work. And so, and that goes into, there are 3 levels in business. There's the technicians, and that's like a mechanic. Okay. And he's a great mechanic, and he thinks he needs to open up a business. He's a terrible business owner though. He didn't know about taxes. He didn't know about how to order things, or to get the customers, or even to keep the employees happy, right? They're terrible, but he's a great technician. And so then hopefully he figures out that, he's going to have to manage these people, because people need management. And then very few people ever get to this part, is where they learn to work on the business, not in the business. And they're Richard Branson. He owns 400 companies. He doesn't even know what they're doing. He's got people for that. His job is to invest his money and to spend time on the island, he does those publicity stunts with a naked model on his back, right? It's just, that's him, right? But so that's my job, is to get them to where they just don't have to. Hey, you guys need anything? No, boss, we're doing great. Why don't you go back to vacation? Okay. And vacation doesn't have to be vacation. It could be, write a book, do a charity, save the whales. Steve Jobs said it best. He said, dent the universe. And I think that once we've solved the problem of money, because money is just a tool, once you've solved that problem, my experience is that most people, they want to dent the universe. They want to do something that matters, that helps the other people out there. I mean, the news shows you the negative side of the humans, and that's because it sells toothpaste and tennis shoes. A sunshine or a sunrise doesn't sell toothpaste and tennis shoes, but the person that's mean and does this and all that, because we're trained to look out for danger. That's how the brain survival. So we got to look out for danger. So, but I believe that most people, first of all, are good people. I think if it wasn't, we'd have chaos in the world. So I think that kind of proves that part. And then if they get that part of their life done where you just don't have to worry about money anymore, then you start turning into that Maslow hierarchy, right? You turn into that, and people start really thinking, well, what do I really want to do? What do I really want to impact? And for me, and what I've seen most of the time is really you're the master of your disaster. Your mess is your message, right? And that's why it's TMV, right? And I have fun with it. Don't get me wrong, but this also reminds me, I need to work on it, right? I still need to work on it. I'm still a workaholic. And I that's why I'm so system oriented, because it actually, in psychology, they say you study psychology to help you, not other people. And so these systems that I've developed are to help me, really, to keep me on. That's not for you. Focus. It's for me. I have to stay focused. My monkey brain. I've gone on too long already. So anyway, you guys probably have questions. I'll have some answers. Let's move on. What do you want? What do you need? What can we do to help save the world?
Well, I mean, save the vacations, right?
Darn tootin'.
Well, I mean, at the end of the day, you basically talking about, take more vacations. And at the end of the day, it's not vacation in the sense of, go to some tropical islands, all the time. It's, what do I want to do with my time? Like, because basically, why can't work feel like retirement, right? Which big surprise, I'm quoting a hip hop song. So I think that's a big piece of it. I mean, you're basically helping people take more vacations, AKA spend time doing the things they want to do and they're passionate about, because,
You get it.
I know me personally, I don't love going on typical vacations. Like, vacation for me is like just doing the things I'm passionate about, doing the things I enjoy doing, visiting the friends and family that I want to go see. I don't need to be on a cruise ship for a week. I often much rather just go visit some good friends where they live, spend a week there living as a local and catching up with old friends. And I think that's the point of it, right? Basically, like you said, putting people out of work. So they're no longer feeling like they're working. They feel like they're enjoying their life, because,
Absolutely.
You work, I work, and we enjoy what we do. So it doesn't often feel like work. And I think that's a big piece of it. Right. So
Absolutely.
That's, in the end, I feel like that's what everybody says they want, but no, not many people are actually doing the things they need to do to get to that point. And essentially, you're their huckleberry, so to speak, right? You know what I mean? And it's just like creating that pivot so the direction goes towards getting to that place, as opposed to I'm thinking about it, but I'm not ever like doing anything about it.
Yeah. Yep. No, you get it, man. You get it 100%.
All right, so I have a question for you, Steven. I love that you shifted your outfit, everything about your vibe to match your messaging, right? Brand messaging. We talk about that a lot offline. But on some level, you're right. Like, that created a mental shift inside to where, like, it seems to me like now you're setting the intention by always wearing this outfit to be always be on vacation, essentially, to be fully denting the universe with your time. And you have on the board behind you, focus. So what's like the one thing you're focused on right now? Like, what would you say your dent the universe is?
Right now, Vinny Smile Chopra and I are working on a $7.07. Uh, we've got a course that we've developed, and there's a book that I wrote. It's the last copy back in '93. I was one of the things on my side was we literally had the first certification program to teach aerobic instructors how to teach aerobic kickboxing. Literally the first one in the country. But you are what you have it was to help my employees and my members to stay focused on the thing. And so, but now it's at a much deeper level. There's 7 levels. Found out that there's 7 levels that I've come up with where you're at financially. And so there's the level 1 is you're filing bankruptcy next week. All right, you're so broke, you've got to do that. And then level 7 is you've got $250,000 to invest in Alchemist Nation or Vinny Chopra or wherever, right? But you don't know what to do with it. Most likely, most people don't. We're not trained on how to make money. We're trained on how to work, and work in my business is a bad thing because anyway. We're trained on staying busy, not productive.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, you're trained for active income.
Yes, and so that's the stage that I'm at, and Walter and Vinny have both achieved that, and Walter always talks about $10,000. He's right, 10,000, and I can tell you, $10,000 a month with no debt. I say no debt. We've got about $7,000 on the credit card, but that can go away at tomorrow if I want to. But we're making points, right? Okay, but you do that and you have no debt. It's really easy to live. You don't have to make millions and millions of dollars. You just got to be out of debt, and you've got to have this residual income coming in.
Yes.
But I saw this, and so these levels, there's things like I rarely ever give a book away. I gave the book, Science of Getting Rich, right? So every day, my wife and I listen. We got the audio version. We listen to it back from working out. Monday through Friday, we do water aerobics, and on the way back, Science of Getting Rich. And it just keeps your brain. We talked about that negative. Well, this is the positive thing, and it's just written back in 1811, and it still holds water today. I mean, not just holds water; it's still overflowing, right? It's just like it's crazy how much knowledge it. I thought when I was reading it and listening to it. Actually, I love to say this about this book. I probably will never read this book because I love to say I'd never read this book, but I listen to it every day. And then when it's over, it starts again, right? But I like doing that. But anyway, so that's the level. So that's the first thing you do is you just start there. And every person that I've talked to that's wealthy or that is on top of their A game, just about every person I've talked to has read that book. And so it's just amazing. There's Think and Go Rich, and there's all kinds of other books that are high on there. But that one to me it resonated with me. I'm into quantum physics. I'm into this stuff that he's talking about, and he doesn't go into quantum for the people out there. He doesn't go into quantum physics, but I assimilate it as quantum physics. It's very plain talk. But anyway, that's where I'm at right there with Walter. We are, so it's 2 things really. The event in a box, that is key, because once people get in there, they can start being indoctrinated into the fact that they don't have to work for a living. They can actually generate income. And so this all is all working together. With Vinny and I we're going to do this course. We're going to have a workbook. Then after the course, we're going to have a book that's going to be done after that. And then most likely we'll have a podcast and it's going to be, everything is under $7. And you can do it in 7 minutes because, Vinny came to this United States with only $7 in his pocket. And I'm an efficiency guy. I'd go crazy if it takes longer to do whatever I'm doing, And so 7 minutes. So it's $7 in 7 minutes.
I mean, it's smart. It caters to society because, attention spans keep getting shorter. So you need to, keep it quick, simple, and, somewhat, entertaining, which is, I always, said, you have to focus on edutainment because got to keep people engaged. and you also got to do it concise.
Yep. Boom, boom, boom. That's me. So those are the two major things that I'm working on right now, and it's fun. We just found some other things that were like franchising, right? Okay, so maybe you're not ready to go into real estate. I don't know why. Now that I understand it, how easy it is. So that just kills me. I mean, I do a side of real estate most people don't do, but I've always shunned this multifamily and this, all this, and I'm like, wow, it's so simple. I mean, Walter makes it, it's Names on Deeds, his book is, and you've got the Scaredy Cat guide.
Yeah.
I mean,
I got the newbie book.
You guys make it makes me feel it makes me feel stupid, and I am, because I'm at my, oh no, let me rephrase that, because that's bad mojo. I'm at my own level of ignorance, right? And so that level though is it's like, it's not up here. Really, it's right there. Not even that far. It's really right there. All you got to do is this, and all of a sudden, real estate becomes very simple. You guys have made it so simple. It's just amazing. And so once we really got into that, and I started, and I still always doubt. I'm gonna check this out. I'm gonna make sure. But once I got into it, and I'm like,
yeah, I'm like that too. There's always that like inner skeptic, and it's like,
yeah.
Let me vet this out, and which goes back to the mantra that kind of you hear throughout the community is trust but verify, right?
Reagan, yes,
which is good, because it almost gets you to quiet the inner critic and say, all right, let me trust that this is what it is, but I will verify it, as opposed to just immediately being like, that doesn't seem like. But what I like that you pointed out is that. And it's one of the reasons why, real estate is my favorite investment out of all the different stuff I've been in, is because it's the simplest to master in terms of to understand how it works. Like what you said, it's like you're here, and then really it's just this one little notch up. And once you learn that foundation about real estate investing, it's just like, oh, I can do this. Now it's just a matter of getting more comfortable, more confident, and turning the volume up, AKA, the size, so to speak. And that is why, like, Names on Deeds and, my book, Scaredy Cat Guide, Investing in Rental Properties, I think are just like these tools that are more powerful than I think I even realized, because it's just like, it has the basics. And once you learn the basics of how to analyze deals and how to basically, close deals, you have the major tools you need. Everything from there is just taking action and getting the experience, right? Which goes back to the theme we were kind of talking about earlier with the taking action, right? In terms of people that should be taking more vacations and talk about, oh, when XYZ, I'm going to do this and that and blah, blah, blah. But what are they doing? They're still punching the clock, and they're still not creating any scenarios where they have their money working for themselves instead of them working for money. And again, that's where Stephen comes in.
So you're all over it. Andrew, it looked like you were about to.
No, this is great. I love all this. I love what we're talking about. In the energy of trust but verify. You said something earlier, or actually I mentioned it because I know you do say it. Also, by the way, I love that you mentioned The Science of Getting Rich. What an incredible book. I used to listen. I do listen to that every week now. But
just to interrupt you for a second, people, when I say I don't give books away, it's probably been 30 years since I've given a book away. And this person it just seemed like the right thing. She was young. She's getting ready to go to college in a different state. And she's just a lifeguard that we met. My wife and I met while we were there. And she just impressed upon us. And I gave her my book. It's usually right over there, sitting up there on the thing. But yeah, no, anyway. So yeah, it's an amazing, if you got to start anywhere, just start there. That will get you in the mindset to read the Scaredy Cat, to read the Name on Deeds. You'll be like, oh, this makes sense.
It was interesting because you mentioned quantum science, but it was, I read the book because The Science of Getting Rich. I wasn't focused on science or God or any of these things, but it was, you talk about the level of ignorance and just needing like one more piece of information. Like I listened to that book and then I paced around my house for literally 2 hours, not listening to anything, just like feeling my entire mind rewrite itself. It was very fascinating. And it was because of the thoughts around God and quantum physics that like that book put it all together and made it make sense very practically. Yep. But anyway, I want to go back to this double your income in 6 months concept, because you're saying you're very success systems focused. This is your full intention. I love it. How do I get access to that system? Because I did a little bit of numbers, a little bit of mathematics, and if I started at $1 income per month and doubled my income every 6 months, apparently I would reach $1 billion in income in 15 years or 180 months, and I would reach $1 trillion in income in 20 years or 240 months. So what is the cap on that system, and how can I access it?
Well, there is never a cap unless you put it on there in any system, just about. However, I will tell you, there's a little trick that I have. First of all, the objective is not just to create income. The objective is to get you out of the business. All right. And so the first 6 months, all we're doing is doubling your gross. That's easy. Okay. It's really not that hard. If you have the right system, doubling your gross is simple. The second 6 months, we're doubling your net off of the gross. So whatever you netted off that gross, now we're going to double that. Then, and this is actually happening before this, because normally most of my clients are go-getters, they're achievers. I'm the bow, they're the arrow. If I just said go, they would say, I would, Stephen, but you're in my way. Could you move to the left or right? Otherwise, I'm just going to run you over, right? Because those are the kind of clients that I can, boom, make an impact, right? So they do that. So then we give a team that's going to double your gross off of your net. And then that team in the last 6 months of the 2 years doubles the net off of their own gross. And by that time, you should be completely out of your business. You're really out of your business by a year and a half. It's not that hard to take yourself out. Everybody always says this, not in my business. You can't do it in my business. No, I have to be there. That's called a narcissist. And a narcissist is the one that just believes that they're so valuable that nobody in the world can do it. And I always go, so what you're saying is you're the only one that can do the sales, right? Yes, I'm the master at sales. Oh, okay. So if you hired somebody and they had a 50% close ratio, could you still make a living? Oh, man, that'd be tough. I'd barely be able to make a living if they only close 50% of my business. I'm like, oh, so why don't you hire them? Well, because I said, well, why don't you hire 2? Why did 3? Why did 4, right? And by the way, were you always this great at sales, or did you have to learn? Well, I had to learn. I was like, do you think they're going to just always be at 50%? So it's just, and this, you can repeat this in anything and anywhere. And so it's just getting there, but you have to have the right, calendars. I'm big into calendars. If it's not on the calendar, don't get done. Right. And so we work with the calendars. I have this index card program that I do, and I'm old school, but, here's one of the index cards that I'm working on this week. It's Vinny, what to sell on each stage of You Are What You Have It. So I said, but it keeps me focused, right? I gotta stay focused too. These programs aren't for you; it's for me. And so, yeah, that's pretty much the simplicity of it. It's just you double, and it's all over. But here's the thing: how much money do you need to make before you say, you know what? I don't want to concentrate on making money so much as I want to concentrate on helping the fellow person. And it could be $1 billion. It could be $5 billion. So Vinny went from $0.8 billion in real estate to 1.6 in less than 9 months, just because he changed his focus. Now, Vinny and I have talked, and I've said, we got to do more. You're not on Elon Musk's radar. We need to do more, right? Could you change that mind? And he's getting ready to step into some really big things. I mean, huge things. Walter, same thing. Yeah, I'm worth this amount of money. I'm going to double my income. Not on my watch. For you, doubling income? No. Now he's talking billions, right? He's only a multi-millionaire. I mean, come on. Who is he to say he should? He's the person that can say that, right? Both of them. I can't hold a candle to both of them on creating income. But I do affect change. That I am a change artist. I always tell people I'm a change artist, and because I have to change so that they can change, right? And so he thought bigger and bigger. And now it's crazy big. And by the way, when I say crazy big, crazy people are the one that run the world. Normal people are the one that just live in it. You want to be crazy. You want to be crazy, right? Because if you're thinking normal, yeah, you're making what, 50, 100,000, maybe $250,000 a year. Okay, that's nice. Anyway,
Mm.
moving right along.
No, that's true. Because if you're living quote unquote normal, you're basically doing what everyone else is doing, and you know, in
Yeah.
order to do, in order to have, extraordinary gains or just experiences, you have to be willing to do extraordinary things. And that's why,
Yes.
you have your Steve Jobs and your Elon Musks and your, Sir Richard Branson, who ironically I met on a Caribbean island.
I keep forgetting to say sir in front of his name. I use it all the time. He's probably going to see me someday and he's going to like, dude, you do realize. I'm like, sir, yes, sir.
He actually probably won't. He was the
No,
most
he's
chill
super
dude
cool.
ever.
Yeah.
It was almost like, is that who I think it is? I spotted him. I'm like, is that who I think it is? And everyone was like, I'm pretty sure it is. And I was waiting for him to talk. And as soon as I heard him say something, I'm like, I hear the accent. I was like, it's him. It's like, what is he doing here? Why is he in this small little airport with us?
Oh, that reminds me. At the very beginning, you said that. What do you say, Andrew, when and somebody asks how you're doing?
Oh, outstanding.
Happy and successful.
Happy and successful.
That's what I say. How are you doing? Happy and successful. Even better now that I met you, because most of the time it is, right? And then when I'm leaving, you have a happy and successful day. Now, here's the thing I have to say about this. It was hard for me to start saying that. People don't think, oh, yeah, that makes sense. And he says it all the time. The brain isn't designed to do that. That was a new thing for the brain. It's still to this day. After 4 or 5 years, I still mess up every once in a while. I'm in a different mindset or something, and not a negative one. I'm just different. I'm doing this. I'm doing that. See you later. Yeah, catch you later. It's gotta. But I'm just saying, we're all the same, right? When we try to learn new things, the brain it takes a while, right? So, anyway, just
habit, changing, and we don't have to use the word habit, but just changing is something that people want to happen snap of a fingers, and it doesn't. I mean, from everything from just daily habits. I mean, when they talk, oh, it takes X amount of days to change a habit, 21 days, 30 days, whatever it is, and it's like, I disagree, because after that 21 days, if you don't hold yourself accountable, guarantee you're going to fall back into the old patterns, old trends. I mean, and this is why a lot of these like different challenges and whatnot exist, because it's basically to try and instill a new habit, kind of like the 75 hard challenge. I mean, 75 days is a good chunk of time, and it doesn't guarantee that you're going to have a new habit. But from my personal experience doing that, I noticed a lasting effect in that, all right, I don't have to do something every single day now hardcore, but I find myself still motivated and still doing some of these things anyway, just naturally, as opposed to even having to hold myself accountable, which only can last so long, because I think accountability is huge, right? And that's part of why you have all your lists, right? And then you get the index cards and the whole nine, and it's true, because you benefit from things, but then there's something called atrophy, and it's no different than people that meditate and write gratitudes every day for 2 years and see tremendous growth, and then like, all right, sweet, I got the gains I wanted, and then they stop, and then a year later they're like, why am I not as happy anymore? And it's like, well, because you're not practicing gratitudes every day. I might be speaking from experience.
maybe not. No, you're 100% right. I mean, and I'll go a step further. I don't care how long it takes to create a habit. The negative habit is still there, lurking to come back out. When you're weak, when you're down, when you're sick, when you're in a negative mindset, that old habit is right there. You don't need to work out, Stephen. You did it you've done it 15 days in a row or whatever, and and I didn't sleep well last night, and maybe I'll just take this. That's
100%.
I'm not going to get into religion, but I'm going to. So I think that God, first of all, can we all agree that God gave us free will?
Someone gave me free will.
Yeah, okay, well, or the universe, right? We have free will, okay? So free will is a thing. Yeah, we have free will. Otherwise, it doesn't really matter what we think or do, because if our life is pre-planned, then it doesn't matter, right? So free will, and God gives us talents, or the universe does, whatever your deity is or non-deity. It gives us talents through our upbringing. And things that happen to us is what we do to choose those talents. Parents, environment, whatever, situations. We hone those talents. And then the universe, God, whoever you want, has all these doors, and it's infinite wisdom. The universe and God are infinite wisdom. And let's just say, put a number on it. There's 1,000 doors. And you decide to pick the door number 2. There's another 1,000 doors. And see, it's already been pre-planned no matter what door you pick. It's already been pre-planned that you can go as far as you want. You can be Oprah Winfrey. You can be Richard Branson. You can be Steve Jobs. You can go as far as you want. But the devil knows that he can't get you to stop believing in the universe or in God. But what he can do is he can put doubt in there, and he can slow you down. And so this is what happens. You go through that door, you say, oh man, this is the one, I'm going to do it. And then something happens. You're like, you know what? God doesn't want me to do this anymore. He wants me to wait. I've never seen anything in the Bible that talks about scarcity or anything like that. It's all about abundance, right? So, but he wants me to wait. He wants me to switch. That's you. That's the negative. That's the brain saying survival. Well, takes a lot of work to do that. And the brain says, work, that burns calories. I need to stop, right? So you can go down that road if you don't want to go in. But God is patient. You pick another door. He's like, all right, there you go. But most people, the monkey brain happens and they pull back. Oh, God doesn't want me to do this. Or they say, God wants me to be poor. And like I said, all I ever read about in the Bible is abundance. You get this, you get that. If you do this, you get that. I mean, it's just Proverbs, my favorite quote, Proverbs 29:18. People perish with no vision. People perish. So vision means you gotta, right? You got to be going towards something, right? You got to be building, right? You got to be going. So the devil just waits. And just tries to get you to slow. He just wants to slow you down, and then you die, and then he wins. I mean, you may go to heaven, but he wins because God wants you to be everything, right? And the devil's just, if he can't beat him here, he's going to beat him here. And that, unfortunately, I think that's the game that's being played. And the universe is expanding all the time. So if you want to go down the universe quantum physics side, which I love also, then the universe is expanding. It's becoming bigger and better. It took, almost 8 billion years for us to be able to survive here. So it played the long game. So,
Interesting.
Yeah.
So the devil's essentially just like the summation of our collective doubts and fears.
Pretty much, he's got it dialed in. He's not stupid. I mean, he knows you can't. That's why we have faith, right? It's like you can't beat faith, right? But you can slow it down.
I guess, yeah. I mean, I guess why the phrase "get busy living" or "get busy dying," exists, and that's exactly what it is. Because if you're basically just sitting in those doubts, right? You're basically just slowly dying off, doing a whole lot of nothing, right?
Yeah.
As opposed to get busy living, where you're moving forward towards something, right? And enjoying the journey, because it's not about the destination, it's about the journey. So, I mean, Stephen, I know that, not only this mindset, but, there's a lot of things you're going to share at the 100 Millionaire Summit. So that's coming up in the first weekend of November in Orlando in our 2023 summit. And Stephen's going to be one of our awesome speakers. So why don't you just touch on that real quick? And, we'll just kind of talk about Alchemist Nation a bit.
Well, I'm still upset about that because Walter won't let me do my trick. At Christmas time, one of my favorite tricks is to have a box that I give you, and you open that box, and there's another box inside there. There's another box inside there. And I was going to give everybody the key to success, but I was going to use the box, and he was like, "Nope, you can only do one thing, and since this is your thing, that's your thing, And I'm like, fine.
Or when you're on stage, you can really do whatever you want. So maybe
it's true. I could bring a box up, and
right, you do one of those.
I checked in with the CEO, and he said it was okay.
You invite exactly. You invite someone.
He's not going to see this before the summit, is he?
He won't see it.
Okay, good.
Don't worry.
That's actually not a bad idea, because you could always do it with just one box, several boxes, and invite one lucky guest up on stage to experience it.
Yeah.
I'm with it. I think you should do it. I think you should invite someone on stage.
Okay, so if I do, since we're going down this road, I really shouldn't give away what I'm doing, but I'm going to give you away the secret.
Don't share anymore.
Yeah, the secret. It is the secret, and and it's very it's very well thought out, and it's very systematic. It goes through the negatives and what's stopping you there, and here's the pause. This is how you overcome it. And there's about 6 or 7 stages in there, not the same stages as the book that I'm talking about. That just literally, seriously, that's coincidental. But but there are stages in there that you have to you think about, right? And it's boom, boom, boom. And how do you make relationships? How do you become successful?
Yeah.
I mean, and so that's basically my talk. A little bit, maybe a little bit about the future of where Alchemist Nation is going as a CEO, but mostly it's just about how to succeed.
Yeah. So, and I think it goes back to, how do you deliver that message and make it entertaining? Because it goes back to edutainment. So, I personally think I would enjoy it. So I'm sure others would feel the same. So, might not be a bad idea, but that's up to you. It's your call. At the end of the day, you and Walter can make your decisions.
Well, he lifts weights.
True.
He's got these big guns.
I've been lifting too lately.
Yeah. So you got those guns, and as a martial artist,
it's all about leverage.
We always say, "You lift weights? Wow, that's so sweet, bro." It ain't about the weights, man. It ain't how much you can lift, right? It's deflecting.
Exactly.
So, but then again, his brother is also a martial artist, so I don't know.
This is true. He can bring in reinforcements.
That's right. He's got the reinforcements. So, but you know what? I might. I got the box in the box in the box. It's here.
Right. And I want to be able to yell, "What's in the box?"
Secret to the
That's
secret.
so awesome. So, I mean, speaking of Alchemist Nation, obviously, you came to the summit in 2022, and then you kind of, really head first got involved in the community, and then obviously now are a very big piece of that. So, we're always curious about just how Alchemist Nation has kind of impacted you, and what really what you like about it the most, so to speak.
So it's interesting. I've had, to be happy and successful. The 3 things, my 3 core values are integrity, happiness, and success. And it's been for 30, 40 years now. And, integrity, if it doesn't get through the integrity filter, I say no, doesn't matter. And then it goes to happiness, and then it goes to success. And success is rarely about money. You know that, right? It's just rarely about money. So I fought it for a long time, and then it just dawned on me one day. I've been indoctrinated. They got the manifesto and all this other stuff that they do. And then Doug McGurk has this meditation stuff, and he's amazing at that, and building 100 millionaires that want to build 100 millionaires. I was like, it's actually what I'm doing. I just never said it. And so I came to that realization that is how I'm denting the universe. They just have a better quote than I did, right? And it makes more sense because it gives people a vision to go towards, right? Without a vision, people perish. And so that's the vision, and it's very gratifying, and I don't know what the word is, but I'm just so blessed to have this ability to communicate with people. That's my Tai Chi instructor always said, that's your number one ability is to transfer knowledge. And it doesn't matter if it was martial arts or this, it's my ability to communicate with people. And so, but Walter, again, did that to me, right? And so it was just that was, to be happy and successful, to want to build 100 millionaires that want to build 100 millionaires, we pay it forward, right? We work with people that are willing to pay it forward, right? So it's greed is good. Don't get me wrong. That's, my kids always used to say, I want this, I want that. And I said, it's good to want. That's what drives you forward in life. Right? So, but so greed is good as long as, you use it for the betterment of humankind. So that's probably the number one thing that I got from Alchemist Nation. And then just realizing, my systems are in place and everything, but now I can use those systems for real estate, and it's the sky's the limit for anybody that even starts to attempt it. It's just, well, I'll just say this. For everybody that goes to the 100 Millionaire Summit, you'll never be the same. Even if you say everything is BS, you'll never be the same. Your mind will be expanded. There'll be something there. Doug, Walter, me, you. There's so many great speakers there and I'm a very strict I just need the facts kind of guy. And this is well, Doug McGurk was right hand man of Tony Robbins for 3 or 4 years, and he's there, and it's a very high energy thing which drains me. I'm there, you won't know it. I'm game on, but I'm at those 3 days. I'm done. I mean, I'm just like exhausted, right? Mentally exhausted. And but it's there were things in there that I wouldn't do every year, but once a year you need it. You need it. You need to go. For no other reason, you need to go and do something that's completely out of your zone, so that you can expand your mind, right? And it's and freaking Disney World or Disneyland, I never can remember which it is there. We've been to both sides, so it's just. Yes. But I mean, you can relax after that, but that's probably the building millionaires that want to build millionaires, realizing that was the path that I was on, when it was just narrowing me in on really where I want to go when I do. Made me even stronger with this. It was like, yeah, I need to do more now, right? And especially as CEO, I'm always, I'll wake up and I'm like, okay, we could. That's the visionary strategist. That's what I am. I'm a visionary. I can talk to somebody for 2 hours, and I literally have their life planned for the next 10 years. Literally, the steps are already there. So I've done it for so long, and so they've really helped me with my vision, my own vision of where I want to go, what I want to do, and how I want to do it.
Well, I mean, from what you're saying, it sounds like you got clarity, so to speak. Because like you said, you're like, I'm kind of already doing this, but now I know exactly what it is that I'm doing, that I've been doing. So that's awesome. Yeah. I mean, and obviously anyone comes to the summit, Stephen will be there, and that's the beauty about it. You get to network. People are around. We're all around the room. So,
I'm a hugger.
Not only networking with.
If you don't want to hug, put your hand out, because I'm fist bump or hugger, one of the two.
There you go. So you can network, and I think that's a big piece of it, right? Being in a room with people that are, just looking to grow themselves and looking to grow others, and everyone has something to offer, no matter what their level of experience is. So should be awesome. And yeah, if you want to see Stephen entertain us on stage, I'm setting the bar high now.
We'll have fun. We'll have fun. I promise you that.
Yeah, it's gonna be a good time. It always is. And yes, appreciate you jumping on the podcast with us. It was awesome. Love your insight, and definitely look forward to seeing you in a couple months.
Right on. This has been great. You guys are amazing. Thank you so much.
Yes, it was our pleasure.
Absolutely. All right. Hey, listen, guys, have a happy and successful day.
There it is.